All right, guys, we are without any new Browns football news, at least on the field, for the next 6 weeks before training camp. It's a quiet period. We're going to have to get creative to talk about this. Just a heads up for everyone out there listening. So I figured we can start with something that we actually did not discuss closer to when the NFL draft happened. We were all thrilled with the Browns' 2026 draft class on paper, but we never actually discussed which of these Browns rookies we think will have the biggest year one impact. This isn't who will have the best career. This isn't who is the best pick. But in 2026, in this upcoming season, which of the Browns' 2026 rookies will have the best first season? G-Bush, what say you?
Well, this is actually super easy because I actually think he's going to end up dang near being the number one receiver. If you go back and watch, the practices and look at it, I think it's obvious Denzel Boston is going to have the most impact. And the reason I say that is because I watched the practice and Deshaun Watson finds him open, okay? And watch practice, Shedeur Sanders finds him open. Doesn't seem to be missing any balls. It doesn't seem like the speed of the game is too big for him. He plays the same against, rookies. He plays the same way against veterans. The first few practices, Deshaun Watson found him over Tyson Campbell and Ronnie Hickman. I think this guy is built like one of them dudes. Like he's one of those guys where we got a dude that the size, the athleticism, and I love what Andrew Berry said. Hey man, we want you to come in and be a bully. And in these first few games of practice, he has been just that. I think he's going to end up as the number one or number two target coming up this season if he can stay healthy. But I think it's undeniable. I think he'll have the biggest impact. I think this is actually an easy question.
I'm going to go a little bit different than you. I'll say Emmanuel McNeil-Warren on defense. And just a little bit of a gut feeling because the guy just made plays every time I had a chance to do a Toledo game. Every time I had a chance to do a Toledo game, the guy was everywhere, like ball hawking, making plays in the box, great range, did everything for that team. And I don't know. I think he's got really good instincts. He's got a knack for the football. And in this defense, which we're trying to find a new identity, I think they'll find a role for him because he can play so many different positions and has so much versatility. I think, Ruttenberg's going to have himself a nice little hybrid tool in his toolbox with this kid. And, hey, we saw it last year with Harold Fannin coming out of the MAC, another kid that, played football just up the road in Bowling Green and from Canton, Ohio. Talking about Fannin, and this kid played at Toledo. I think he'll have an impact as a rookie, and I think I'll go out on a limb. I'll say it'll be the best.
Let me ask you a question about that because when you're in the MAC, right, and I played at a MAC school, it's funny because you see him play and you watch, and they had Caleb Downs, but this guy was at the combine. He was a guy who made plays all the time. How is it like? A guy like that kind of falls through the cracks where he's being mentioned as a top 3 type safety. And I would assume that if he's progressing like that, he would have left and went to another bigger school. How did because you've covered him, how did he kind of slip through the cracks?
Great question. I don't know. I always thought that he'd end up somewhere else. He just didn't. And that's a guy who was a multi-time captain, for that team. And I think he had a really good relationship with Coach Candle, who's now has since left for UConn. But, I don't know. It's a good question.
It's crazy. But I'll take him.
I'll take him too.
I'll take a doggone good football player, man. So I think that's the reason Grant Dell put in camp right now.
Who would be your answer to last year's rookie draft? Who had the best year?
Carson.
Yeah, I was thinking Fannin, but you're right. I'd have to
Carson.
Carson Schlesinger had a crazy year.
It's hard to measure because and the reason I asked is because it's hard to measure with Mason Graham because the counting stats just aren't there. Because I was on your track with Boston. I was sort of between Boston and Spencer Fano because the line was so bad.
Yeah, me too. I thought I was going to go with that.
And I thought it better be Fano. Yeah. Because you got, regardless who the starting quarterback is, you got 2 quarterbacks who hold the ball. So you better get this line in order. But it sometimes it takes left tackles a minute to sort of figure things out. So I would probably lean toward you with Boston, but Fano's got to be a guy who right away is extremely productive at a very high level, because it's out of necessity. If he doesn't,
it's just not going to be a sexy position. Like if he plays well, we're not going to probably talk about it.
Yeah.
If he plays bad, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Right. If he could play for me, like I did with Mason Graham, my goal was, will you start day one? Will you play 16, 17 games? If you can do that, you'll get the experience. You'll be much better the next year. If Fano can start day one, he plays 15, 16 games or whatever the case may be, I think that's a feather in his cap, and I would think that is a successful season.
So we have a very special viewer watching the show today, one Tyvis Powell, new father of 3.
you don't have time to be watching the show.
He's back next week, but he texted me and said, please read this text word for word. So I'm going to read this text word for word.
Oh, Lord.
Quote, you tell those 3 that Denzel Boston is fool's gold right now, because until I see him make a play on Denzel, I ain't buying it. So then I said, okay, I'll let him know. Who's your answer? He said, Parker Brailsford, the center. Easy. It's not the sexy answer, but it'll be the correct answer.
Has Tyvis ever been correct?
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't.
Couple times?
Oh,
Malik Collins, he nailed
Malik
that one.
Collins is his claim to fame.
God.
But the
Who's the receiver he wanted?
Quan 400 was out of here.
There was a receiver he wanted.
Big Christmas.
Big Christmas out of
Well,
here.
I mean, I'm not going to listen to anything he says in baseball, but football, he's pretty spot. I mean, obviously,
He liked Mekhi Lemon.
I'm half kidding with Tyvis.
He got Tez
Tyvis.
Johnson right. Tez Johnson.
that was the one.
Okay, yeah,
that was the one. Yeah.
But Brailsford could start. Like Brailsford could start. Like I'm not going to lie. Like Elton Jenkins, he hasn't been. We haven't seen. Here's a couple people that I haven't seen. I haven't seen Jenkins and I haven't seen Fannin. Now, is Fannin still dealing with the growing injury, or what's going on with that, McNuggets?
They said that Fannin and all the guys who were out with injury during mandatory minicamp, if this was the regular season, would have been fine.
Oh, okay.
They were just holding them out, purely precautionary. The Brailsford thing, though, is interesting because Todd Monken has alluded to the fact that he's got 4 starters in his mind that will start. The positions of which they'll start on the offensive line are still rotating. It's that last spot. It's either going to be Tevin Jenkins at guard if Elton Jenkins plays center, or Parker Brailsford at center and Jenkins moves back to guard, which is his best position. They've been impressed, according to all reports, with Brailsford thus far in camp. We talked about the fact that Monken in Baltimore had incredible success with Tyler Lindenbaum, who was an undersized center. Brailsford, the knock on him coming out of Bama was slightly undersized, but the technique was there, all the requisite leadership skills, the knowledge, that was there. It was just, could he hold up physically against NFL defensive linemen? And so far, once again, early training camp, no pads have been on yet. The early returns have been, Brailsford seems to be able to handle mentally what the Browns need him to do in order to be that starting center if he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, Warhop said it, and I was kind of surprised that he said that. Offensive line coaches usually don't say stuff like this. He said, he's been out here, and I won't say it's easy for him, but it's not been difficult at all. He's made a transition into calling out the plays, understand what everybody needs to be. And he said, the size thing, we played with Linderbaum, we played with guys that are a little bit lighter, but use their athleticism. You can pull a little more, outside zone a little more. And I thought that was telling, because it didn't sound like he was saying like, oh, he's undersized, he's not going to play. He did also say they build the offense around the guy who's starting. So if Elton Jenkins, they're building the offensive line and what they're going to do around him, the backup is going to have to play more along the lines of what the starter is going to play. So if it's a bigger guy, he's going to have to down block. He's going to have to double team more zone plays. But if he's the starter, I would expect that the Browns will do some things to show his athleticism and to accent what he does best. So I give it to Tyvis. I would not be surprised if Brailsford is a major mover on the offensive line, which says a lot for what is he? What 5th round pick is he?
Fifth round pick.
Fifth round.
And you get 5th round pick to start a center.
Well, as a rookie? Yeah.
It'd be a huge one.
That's a win.
That's
Would be a huge
I mean, he's got to be good.
Yeah, he got. Now listen, don't tell me.
Because you start.
Listen, don't come out here and just like
Yeah.
you can't be getting tossed up, but you can't get tossed up like that,
Whoa.
Excuse me?
bro. Listen,
Whoa.
what you mean? That's what you mean. Tossed up is not a crazy thing. Like, is that? I don't.
Nope, you're
I
good,
ain't never
you're
heard
good,
that.
Don't worry. You're good. You're good.
Dave Chappelle's in town tomorrow night, too.
Hey, shout out to Tupac.
Hey, man.
It's a great song. Let me see you toss it up, man.